Hey, hello, and welcome to my channel. As you can see from the title, today we're looking at The Shining, and we're exploring the concept of haunted objects and how that might relate to the story, because I've found at least a few objects that I definitely consider haunted. But side note, I'm not including actual locations like the twins' hallway or the elevator, although there is a lot going on at those locations, but I'm more looking at actual objects for the most part. So let's get started. Well, I thought we'd jump right in with a look at Jack's typewriter. Of course, we see Jack spends a lot of time at this typewriter as he's working, and the typewriter appears to be a dark gray heavy model. Also, notice Jack's mood starts to become more aggressive when he's near this object. When Wendy goes up to the typewriter later on, I almost feel like it might even be a lighter gray color if you look at it here with Wendy. But when Jack is in front of it, the typewriter looks almost black. Maybe I'm reaching, but there's no doubt being near the typewriter has started to warp Jack's mind. Now, our next haunted object is actually the sign that's in front of the hedge maze outside of the Overlook Hotel. You can see here as Wendy and Danny are running into the maze that the sign sits right in front of the entrance. But here, as the family is walking with Mr. Ullman, you can see that our sign has magically changed positions. It's no longer in front of the entrance, it's off to the side, strangely moving on its own. I've mentioned before that this TV Danny and Wendy are watching is a bit odd too, and the reason why is that it isn't plugged in. And please don't tell me that there's another power source, because back when this movie was made, those type of TVs would have had a cord to plug into an outlet in the wall. This particular haunted object is probably here because of a film called Persona by Ingmar Bergman from 1966, which also featured a TV set that is on but isn't plugged in. I'm guessing Kubrick was a fan of this film. One of the creepier haunted objects in this film is the ball that rolls up to Danny near room 237. We see him playing by himself with some toy trucks, and then, out of nowhere, from an empty hallway, a ball just rolls up to Danny, almost like something is trying to get his attention, a ghostly presence, perhaps. And this leads Danny right to room 237, one of the most haunted spots in the hotel. Another haunted area is the gold room. We see Jack enter in and notice the mirrors in back of the bar. The brightly lit backdrop of the gold room mirrors lends this scene a dramatic feeling. And as Jack takes a seat at the bar, stating how much he wants a drink, immediately our empty bar is now full of liquor bottles, all stacked up in front of the mirrors. And Lloyd the bartender appears. He pours Jack a drink, probably not a good idea for a guy that has a drinking problem. But the reason the gold room mirrors are haunted objects is because all of this appeared out of nowhere after Jack sat down and, well, made a wish in front of the mirrors, and his wish appeared. So these are magic mirrors in the truest fairy tale sense. Now, I wasn't sure if I should include the next object, since it's sort of a location too, seeing as how it's inside Ullman's office. But if you look here, you'll see a bright window at the back of the office. But look here as Jack is walking up to the office. See the back wall with the native textile hanging on it? That is actually a hallway back there. And this hallway runs behind Ullman's office. So this window in Mr. Ullman's office, it should actually look out into a hallway, It shouldn't look out into a sunlit outside shot. The Overlook Hotel is actually such a bizarre place, but I definitely feel Mr. Ullman's window is a haunted object. Actually, let's say a word about some famous haunted objects. Of course, these are objects that are allegedly cursed and bring bad luck or misfortune, or are haunted by spirits. The famous doll, Annabelle, is linked to the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren and was supposedly possessed. Of course, the movie Annabelle is based off of this cursed object. Next up is a really interesting one. If you don't recognize this painting, it is called The Hands Resist Him by artist Bill Stoneham, but it's more famously known as the eBay Haunted Painting, since it was listed for sale there with the warning that the painting was either cursed or haunted. The seller claimed that the characters in the painting moved during the night and that they would leave the painting and walk around the room. Pretty creepy. And there are a couple of people who apparently died within a year of coming into contact with the strange painting. Also, I thought I should do a few honorable mentions here as well. And the first goes to that poster you see behind our ghostly twins here in the game room. It says Monarch on it and has a figure with a bright light. I think it's actually a ski resort in Colorado, but I feel like the image is a bit ominous. Next honorable mention goes to that Pooh Bear stuffed animal you see on the floor here. We see it in a couple of scenes, and of course, bears feature prominently in The Shining, like our bear suited man. And at the end of The Shining, after we see Jack freeze in the maze, he ends up in that old photo on the wall of the Overlook Hotel, as if he's now become one of the ghosts stuck in the picture. So this pic is another mysterious haunted object. So, to sum up, if the Overlook in some respects can be thought of as a haunted house of sorts, then some of the strange collection of objects within can definitely be haunted or cursed. From that otherworldly unplugged TV that Danny and Wendy watch, to a ball that rolls from out of an empty hallway, there are definitely some things that can't be explained away in normal terms. Then there's our maze sign, which moves from the entrance and then just ends up in a totally different spot, magically moving on its own. And there's literally a magic mirror in the gold room, since once Jack makes a wish in front of it, Lloyd the bartender appears with a drink. And this is in one of the most haunted spaces in the Overlook. Strange, ghostly objects appear near our twins, and even in our very last shot. That's important and seems to highlight the fact that haunted objects occupy a special place at the Overlook Hotel. Well, that's my video about the haunted objects of the Overlook Hotel. I hope you liked it. I'll be working on something for next week, which I hope to have finished soon. Oh, and if you can see any haunted objects that I might have missed, please let me know in the comments section, and thank you in advance. Also, it would help my channel if you hit that subscribe button. But either way, my name is Shim. Thank you for spending time with me, and have a great day.